Hey guys, welcome back. So again, I wanted to do this live, but Facebook apparently does not like me. So we are going to record this and then upload it. And so welcome back for another how-to. And this time we have a giveaway. Didn't get a whole lot of participation, but that's all right. Brian, you got in there just after I'd picked a winner. It's going to be Colby Pittman. And for Colby, we're going to be making just a basic IWB holster. He carries appendix, so we're going to include an appendix clip and a mod wing for his Gen 4 Glock 19. So let's go ahead, and this video is going to be from start to finish. I haven't pre-done anything here, so I'm gonna show you everything. I'm gonna do my best to explain it. It's gonna be kind of a long video, but this is for people who really kind of want to see every single step that I go through from start to finish. So let's go down to the bench and see what we got going on. Yeah. All right, so here we have our Gen 4 Glock 19 mold you saw from the previous video. Oops, that light back on, all right. And first and foremost, we're gonna start with our tape. We're gonna get our, again, as I explained in a previous video, this mold is, so in order to create the correct amount of clearance for the slide and to essentially eliminate the slide serration imprinting on this inside of the holster, we're going to put our I use 4 layers of tape. That gives me the right amount of clearance for the holster and the right amount of retention when it gets adjusted. So we're going to start with our 4 layers of tape. You can count them with me if you want. Get them nice and straight, and again, like I said in the previous video, take your time, get your tape lines nice and crispy. You know, the more time you spend prepping, the better result you will get in your end product. You know, like I said before, somebody is, you know, if your intention is to, you know, make a business out of something like this, out of this, would behove you to, you know, spend the time, because, you know, imagine if this was your holster being made, you know, if you were the one purchasing it, you would want whomever you're purchasing it from to treat it with the respect that it deserves. I mean, you work hard for your money. I know I work hard for mine, and with the price of stuff nowadays, you know, we want the most bang for our buck without also having to sacrifice, you know, quality. So take the time, do it right, spend the time in prep. You spend the time now, more time you spend now, the less you will have to spend either correcting or having it sent back. You know, the last thing you want to do is send things and have it sent back to you and have to redo it. You know, and if you're, you know, most firearm enthusiasts know that, you know, in the firearms world, reviews and service are a big deal. You know, word of mouth. I mean, think about it. Think about every single, either whether it be the firearm itself or a piece of, you know, an accessory, you know, whether it be performance parts, lights, lasers, sights, triggers, you name it. First thing you're doing is you're going to look for reviews. You want to see what are people saying about it. What are people that have had it? What are they saying? Pros, cons. I mean, if you're like me, I'm not necessarily looking for the good reviews. I'm looking for the bad ones, and I want to see what's bad. You know, what bad experiences that people are having with it. So, and yes, all that ties back into the time that I'm spending now doing all of this. So, let's see. So that's 3. You guys will have to bear with me too. I mean, I don't know that I've ever had to speak for this long consistently. Typically I'm in here by myself with some music playing and kind of just doing my thing. So now I'm having to talk to you guys. So, okay, so there's that, and this is going to be a Gen 4. So this one is already blocked correctly for the controls. Like the one I showed you yesterday on the Gen 5, it would have had, it's got ambidextrous slide levers. This on the Gen 4, it does not, so we do not need to create a channel on this side. This side is essentially done, other than I'm going to add we're going to add the star there, but I will do that kind of last. So for this one, we're going to use these guys. So let me get the clip. I hope you like these, Colby. I recently started using these quick clips. I like them a lot for appendix carry. They are easy on, easy off. When you're taking it off on purpose, that doesn't mean, you know, easy off. Someone can just come up and yank it off of you, and I will show you why. They have these nice little hooks in there to where it goes over your belt. Man, these things are great. Yes, it's plastic, it's a polymer, but man, they are pretty tough. And when it's tucked in inside your waist, it's secure. This thing is not. They're not going to be able to just yank this off of you. I mean, when you go to take it off, you're going to have to actually, you know, pry the thing up and take it off. They're pretty nice. I like them a lot. Okay, so and this is for a right-handed. Colby is right-handed, so we're going to make him a right-handed holster. So when you're getting ready to set your clip here, think about it as if it's on you, right? So this is going to, like, this is your belt line, okay? How much, you know, how deep, you know, you want to set that inside the belt line, okay? So I will typically take it, here's the groove for your finger on the trigger guard. We're going to go just below that, okay? That still gives a good amount of concealment and still makes it very accessible for the person to up, grab, and draw. You know what I mean? So what I'll do is I'll set my blocking. This is going to create the mounting template once it's pressed for me to then drill the holes and mount the clip. And again, take your time. You want this thing straight. Oh, and one more thing. Let me grab the, sorry guys. Somewhere around here. Oh, where did I put it? Is it in here? I had it out yesterday. This one is going to have a mod wing. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen these around on different holsters and probably wondering. I know I'm not the first guy to explain this to people, and I know Colby probably already knows what this is, but for those of you that don't, this device here, when it is on the holster, will be about right here. And what this does is it takes the firearm and takes the grip and rotates it in closer to the body, aiding in it helps to aid in concealment and somewhat lessen the imprint on your shirt. You know, let me adjust this some. It helps to lessen the imprint on your shirt. To me, that's not a big deal. I don't mind printing to a certain extent, but I know some people it does matter. This also makes it a little bit more comfortable. I mean, a Glock 19 is not a huge gun, but it's also not a subcompact. So these work really good on small, like compact. Like I've got a little Taurus G3C, and something like this makes that gun nearly invisible when it's inside. I carry appendix as well, and in case you didn't know, appendix would be right here. This is the appendix carry position. When I carry that gun, appendix, with a wing on it, I mean that damn thing it's invisible. You can't see it. This will still print a little bit, but it does aid to a certain degree. So anyway, so let's go ahead and that's what I was going to show you guys. So we're going to figure out where we want our template to be for the clip, and we're also going to kind of take our wing and we're going to look at it, because you want, this wing is useless if it doesn't hit the belt, behind the belt line. Otherwise, it's pushing on your pants or and it's not doing its job. So these two items need to line up. And that actually looks pretty good where the clip is at and where this is going to be at. So we're gonna call that good. I'm gonna take this guy off. And what I'm gonna do, just in case I fumble around and bump it, I'm gonna make me some reference mark here. So in case when I get ready to tape it down, I move it just a little more. And that's just for me, just for my sanity, to help me go right back. Because if let's say I'm bumping around, I bump it. Oh crap. Okay, it was right there. No big deal. Okay. So then, and when you're putting, like when you're mounting your clips, whether this was going to be, let's say like a regular foamy, which would be up here, you know, it would be about like that. So you want it kind of center of like your sight channel and your bottom in the bottom of the frame here, or the bottom of the frame here. Kind of want to center that out. But in this case, we're going to do this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to center it between the top of the slide and the bottom of the slide. I'm going to kind of center that out. And that's kind of probably, I guess another one of those aesthetic things. I like things to be geometric. I like it to be straight. So anyway, that's just me. So now let's tape it. Let's tape that guy down. And I'm gonna harp on you guys again about your tape lines. Take it, work around the edges, make sure it's on the template, and then we're gonna use our fingernail and we're gonna push it down nice and crispy. Come over here to this edge. We're gonna do the same thing. Yep, you know what, I don't like that. I did it wrong, got too much crinkling, so we're gonna take that off. I'm gonna take off another piece. Again, take the time during prep to get it right. Let's try this again. I did it wrong. I didn't do it the way I normally do it. On the ends, that's how I do it. It's not how you have to do it, it's just how I do it, and I'm gonna show you why. Get the ends down, nice and tight, nice and crispy. We'll go ahead and work this edge. Then what I'm gonna do, remember yesterday I showed you about taking the time to make the small incision so the tape will lay flat? That's what we're gonna do here. Make a couple incisions so our tape will lay nice and flat. And kind of peel that back, and then I push this guy down so it's in there nice and tight. And then I'm gonna take these flaps and come on down. I don't know if you can tell or not, but that looks way better. Less lines leads to a cleaner looking holster on the inside, faux show. And then now, what we're gonna do, what I didn't explain to you guys yesterday, and I wanted to, and I'm sorry that I didn't, we're gonna make a retention plate for this. Now, I already have one made for it, but I'm gonna, for the video purposes here, I'm gonna go ahead and make another one, just so I can show you guys. Now, you can go to Knife Kits or you can go to Holstersmith and you can buy pre-made metal, nice 1/4 inch thick carbon steel retention plates. They're going to cost you an arm and a leg unless you only plan on making one type of holster. I don't make just one type of holster, I make quite a few different ones. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take and I'm going to make a retention plate. Now you'll see I'm going to trace, essentially just trace the outline of the gun. And I'll come back and straighten up some of these lines. This does not have to be absolutely perfect, but it does need to fit and fit reasonably tight. And come around about like so. Now I don't need the retention plate to come all the way down here. I just need about halfway. Because really the wing and retention screws are going to be right in this area. But we're going to give ourselves just a little bit extra. Because technically I don't have a Gen 4 retention plate, so I guess I can use two different ones. So we'll come down. This will be enough to make a light bearing for when Colby gets ready to purchase that light bearing holster we were just talking about. Come on up. And now I'm gonna cut this all the way out, and then I'm gonna scroll all this. And here's what I'm gonna do here is that plate doesn't need to come in so intricately. It can be, and here's the very front of the gun. So we're gonna make it just a straight line, because that doesn't necessarily matter for your retention plate. You can go, it's a nice, pretty close to straight right there. And I can sand it a little bit too if I need to when I get ready to actually attach it to the mold. So let's go over to the saw, the trusty saw. Sorry guys, I don't have the most advanced video equipment here. It's gonna be loud, so you have to pardon me. Let's see how we did. Let's see how it fits. So you're gonna take and see. We did pretty good. I don't need it to be out that wide, but it's close enough, and we can use that. Yeah, we can use it. It'll work. So what I'll do is my vise. You don't have to do it this way, but it does have, this acts as another set of hands, so it helps. I'm gonna throw it in the vise here, and we're gonna, oh shoot, I grabbed I'm gonna have to adjust that now. It's all right. Nothing's permanent yet. Getting ahead of myself here. All right, we'll take this guy, and we will tape it down. Or tape it onto the mold, I should say. Oops. And shoot. Sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate, sometimes it does. Kind of center it out. You know, you want to be in the center. Now it's going to kind of center itself out once you actually go and press the Kydex around it. But it doesn't hurt to, you know, take your time. Like I said, just take your time. Make sure it's right here. It'll save you a lot of time elsewhere. That's good. Take it back over here. Let me scoot this forward some. I don't like it being so far. All right. Now let's fix these guys. Get some wrinkling there. All right, that's pretty good. And that's pretty good. Get a little piece here on the end to keep the nose straight, or the end of it straight. And it's almost time to go in the press, guys. Oh, you know what we forgot? Forgot the star. Oh, whether you wanted it or not, Colby, you're getting a star, buddy. I hope you like it. Let's see, I've got one in here somewhere. Or is it over here? A box of goodies. We need to work on getting a little bit better organized. There's one. Okay. Like I showed you yesterday, we're gonna put our cool star on there for the Lone Star State, Lone Star EDC. Like I said, I think it's pretty cool. You guys let me know what you think about that. Alright. So, get that going the way we want. And let's tape it down. Get it as crispy as we can. I kind of like that word, crispy. A lot of good things are crispy, right? Okay, and we got our star on there, right? Okay, now let's put a piece on the nose, on the end here, just to keep that from wiggling, you know, back and forth. It's almost time to go in the press, guys. And I'm not gonna make you guys wait the entire 10 minutes for it to cool. I will show you the press, going into the press, and what I'll end up doing. I'll take a little break, I'll pause it for brief intermission, and then I will come back once the holster is coming out of the press. All right. That gives me just enough little stability to keep that where I want it. Okay. Vice out of here. Okay, so there's that. So now I'm gonna, well, you know what? Shoot. Let's cut out our piece of Kydex. This was a reheat, but it is still in good shape. So we're gonna use it. So when you're doing this, in order to cut down on some waste, because I mean you're gonna have some waste, but so because this is kind of a small, I'm cutting it close. I'm actually probably just going to use the whole piece. I will show you how to cut out your pieces. Once I've got another full flat sheet, I'll go over that, you know, in another. It's real simple to do. It's not that big of a deal. So now what we're gonna go put our decks, our material, in the heat press. I've got it set to 375 for 145 seconds, in case you guys are wondering. Let it cook. We're gonna preheat. I guess I should just take you guys with me, huh? Hold on. Sorry, like I said, I don't have the most sophisticated film equipment, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Let me get it stood up here. All right, let's come on over to where we cook the material, where we cook it up. My dad, I can be goofy. I think I've kind of earned that now. All right, so we're gonna put our material in here. So if you're using a heat press, which I recommend, it's so much easier, it's so much quicker, it's way more, you get way more consistent, much more consistent heat profile. You want to, so I use 3 different materials. I use Holstex, I use Boltaron, and I use Kydex. All 3 are very similar. They all mold pretty much exactly the same way. The only difference is their heat profile. Boltaron, they all mold pretty much at the same temperature. I can mold them all at 375 degrees. Boltaron, however, will shrink very quickly. When I first started making holsters, I was using a toaster oven to essentially cook my Kydex, heat it up enough to where I could mold with it. What I found out was I was having a lot of trouble with Boltaron shrinking. It would heat, the edges would curl, and it would shrink on me like really bad. So instead of me, there's all these other ways you can do it slower. And, you know, I'm trying to run a business. I don't have 20-30 minutes to wait for my damn material to get the temperature. So I went this route. You put a piece of Boltaron in here, you sandwich it down, it has nowhere to shrink. Throw it in the press, fold it over, and mold your holster. It's awesome. Same thing for everything else. I mean, Kydex will also shrink too if you heat it too quickly. The edges can, well, it'll kind of curl up. It'll want to curl up on you if you heat it up too fast, like in an oven. Versus the experience I've had on an actual heat press, because it has nowhere to go, it doesn't shrink or curl. Now, when you take it out and go to the press, it does start to curl. So you gotta kind of move. Now, you don't have to run and rush. You've got some time. You know, take your time. Lay your material down. Get your mold or your firearm in there. Pull it over nice and tight, and then close your press. You have time. You got a couple minutes, but you don't want to dilly-dally. You want to get it in there and get going. That's why I was saying spend all the time in the prep. Get things nice and firm and secured. When you go to put all that pressure on in the press, it's not just going to peel all that work you just did and peel it all off, because that sucks. I've been there, and it blows. So let me grab my material. I will come over here. We'll throw it in there. I'm actually going to give this one a little bit longer. So we're going to open up our press. I've got my heat gun over here. I'm going to preheat my foam. This foam is very dense. It's very thick. It is pliable, but when it's heated, it's more pliable. So I can apply more pressure. The more pressure you get, or you can get, I mean, you can put too much. Now, I can't exactly tell you how much is too much. I haven't split or broken any mold yet, but I know it can be done. Maybe it's just because I can't put enough pressure on my little press here for that to happen. But you know, you want to get good pressure on there, especially if you're doing it via this method, because you get all those nice crisp lines, the detail. It makes it look so much better. So let's go ahead and get our material cooking. I'm gonna get my mold over here ready. There's another press right over here. This big guy, I will explain that one in another video. This is typically the press I use when I'm doing OWB holster, outside the waistband holsters. I haven't figured out quite yet how to, I'll have to check with my mentor at Faltech. The guy's great. You guys should also check out Faltech Unlimited. The guy makes fantastic holsters. He's been my mentor through this whole process. But yeah, this guy it's inexpensive. This is a motorcycle jack for jacking up a motorcycle, and I use it to, you know, up and down to press holsters. Anyway, we'll get into that in another video. So I've got my mold over here on standby. I'm gonna bring this guy down. We're gonna cook it. I'm gonna let this one cook a little bit longer because it was kind of wavy. Get it good, nice and flat, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start preheating my foam. So we get that nice, crisp definition. Also, too, these things get pretty hot, so you're gonna want to get yourself a decent pair of gloves. Mine aren't the best; they're a cheap pair from Home Depot, but I've been using them. Matter of fact, they came free with a sewer snake rental, and I've just kept them ever since, and I've been using them for this. Eventually, I will get myself a better pair of gloves, more tactile, a little more dexterous, something a little bit better. But for now, they suffice. But I suggest that you get yourself a decent pair of heat-resistant gloves, because you will have to handle some of this stuff at a kind of a high temperature. You don't want to burn yourself. I have had some hot Kydex stick to my hand before. It's not fun. It's a nice little blister. About 60 more seconds in the press. You don't want to hold your heat gun in one place because you can burn, you can scorch the foam. This gun gets pretty hot. You don't want to scorch it, burn it. Boring one. It's gonna be, I'm gonna let it go probably an extra 10 seconds. Alright, we're gonna put on our gloves. Remove the material. Grab our mold, fold it, and go. There we go. Oh yeah, good and flat. I'm gonna get our mold here. We're gonna fold it over, line it up in there. Try to show you guys that. Okay, it's in there, it's lined up. Hold tight. Now we're going to crank it down. And now we'll wait for the magic to happen. Before I pause you guys, well, I'm not going to pause. I'm not going to do that. Oh, guys, be sure to head to the website when you get a chance, LoneStarEDC.com. You know, I'm not a web designer, so it's going to be periodically going through changes, hopefully getting better over time, getting more aesthetically pleasing and easier to use. I don't currently have a list of available firearms that I can do because presently, if I can get a mold for it, you can order it. If I can find a mold for it, I can do it. I can make your holster. Now, I don't have a huge catalog of molds yet. I've got some of the more popular ones, a bunch of Glock molds, a couple of the new Walther PDP molds, some 1911 molds, things like that. But in the future, I might get to where I have a list. But don't hesitate. You know, I have an inquiry tab on the site. You know, inquire, ask me. You know, just send me an email if you're not sure. If you don't want to place an order, you're not sure. Send me an email, and I will respond to you as quickly as possible. I mean, I like to get back to people fairly quickly. Let me put this back up on the bench here. Hold on, guys. Okay. Yeah, send me a request. Ask me about it. I mean, there are no stupid questions. I'm not one of these, you know, gun snobs or whatever. You know, if there's something that you want, something that you need, don't hesitate to ask. If I can't do it, I'm just gonna flat out tell you, no, man, I'm sorry, I can't do it at this time. Doesn't mean I won't be able to do it in the future. But yeah, just ask, man. And also, you know, the prints, I'm doing in-house infusing prints onto my Kydex. Now, the Kydex itself will be, currently I've been using white. There will also be like a safety yellow and a safety orange. Reason being is sublimation will not sublimate correctly on like black or dark colors, like browns or like, like FTE or tan or OD green or hot pink, stuff like that. It just won't. So, you'll have whatever print you want. Basically, I mean, as long as I can, we have a site I get my prints from. They're high quality prints. If I can get it from there, if I can find it, I can get that print and put it on your holster. But I'm only going to use high quality prints. I'm not gonna settle for that. I mean, there's tons of places I can go and get pixelated pictures of different graphics and arts and whatnot. But you're not gonna like it. I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna sell you that. So if they're also in that custom inquiry tab, if there's a print, now I have some different ones that I've done or can do already on the site. If you don't like any of those, that's fine. Send me an inquiry, ask me, and we can work on it together. I'm not going to charge you extra for me to have to do a little bit of extra digging to find something that you want. We can email back and forth and get it, and find what you want and get it right before I charge you any money. Let's get it right. Let's get you something that you're gonna love, and I look forward to hearing from you. So I'm gonna pause you guys for a minute. I'll let this guy finish. Actually, can I pause on here? I guess I can't really, because I'm recording not Facebook Live. I'm recording from my phone. Oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna have a beer. Wasn't quite as hot today. It was actually pretty nice out. I think it was like high of 88. Last week it was hot as balls, so jeez, it's terrible. Hang on, let me grab a beer. Matter of fact, let's get a little more. Let's get that light going back in here, huh? Get some light. That's better. Now we look better, don't we? It's a little shiny. That's good. So, there was something else I was going to tell you guys. Oh, that's it. So, if and when you purchase a holster from me, everything I make for you guys is lifetime guarantee, lifetime warranty. So meaning if you have any issues, if a clip breaks or you have, if like, let's say, it hasn't happened yet, but I suppose it could happen, it's damage during shipping, let me know. We can either get it sent back, I'll cover the shipping to get it sent back, or I can make you another one, however we can settle the solution. Your holster is guaranteed for the life of it. Now I don't necessarily know the lifespan on Kydex. This stuff is pretty tough. It's pretty durable. That's why I recommend, if you're gonna conceal carry, or especially outside the waistband, I recommend you carry in a active retention Kydex holster. But it's gonna last you. It's gonna last you a long time. There's no special care or really any kind of thing you need to do. Now, I like leather. I have a couple of leather holsters. I have a leather holster from my 1911. I love it. It's very nice, but I'll never carry that gun. It's too nice to carry. I got the holster because I thought it looked nice, and I thought maybe one day I'll dress up and wear it with something nice. But that's just never happened. But with leather, you got to care for it. It's just an extra step. With Kydex, once you've got your retention set how you like it, and your cant or the angle, however you want it, that's it. There's nothing else you need to do. You could put some Loctite. I think I explained that yesterday. I don't do that here because I'm gonna set the retention where I think it feels pretty good. Now, when you get it, like I said in a previous video, I want you to put your gun in there, put it on, and draw and see how you like it, and then adjust it. And then if you want to put some Loctite on it afterwards, be my guest. But I'm not going to do that in-house because I don't want it to get to you and then, oh man, it's too tight, I can't get it, I can't adjust it, I can't do anything with it, and then you got to send it back, or I've got to make you another one or whatever. So that's why I don't do that, in case it wasn't obvious. So, typical Cool down time, molding time is about 10 to 15 minutes. 10 minutes is usually about the sweet spot for me. You want it to, you want to give it enough chance for that material to form and get pretty close back to room temperature. Now, when I pull it out of the press, it's still gonna be relatively warm, a little bit pliable. So that's why I'll kind of take it out and let it kind of sit out here for a minute or two. Let it kind of cool down some more and kind of get good and firm to back up before I start really prying on it and cutting and doing all my finishing work on it. So, but yeah, roughly 10 to 15 minutes. You could go as long as you want. I mean, it doesn't have to be 10, 15 minutes, at least 10 to 15 minutes. You could leave it in there for the rest of the day, put one in there and go and do whatever you got to do and then come back. I mean, it's not going to hurt it. But at a minimum, 10 to 15 minutes to give it time for it to set. You know, you take it out too soon, and you could lose some of that definition, lose some of the lines. When you go to pull it out, it could pry apart. You know, you don't want to. I mean, yes, you can put it back in the press, heat it back out. Kydex will go right back to its original shape, and then do it all over again. But if you're doing this to make a living or to make money, the more time you spend doing all that, the less money you're actually making. If that makes sense, you know, the quicker you can get them out, the more you're going to make, you know, without sacrificing quality and safety. And I think I explained that yesterday. You know, there is an aspect to this that can make a otherwise safe situation unsafe. A holster can make it can make a firearm unsafe. You know, if that trigger guard isn't properly blocked out. Also, if it's not, I mean, you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you've got your holster on and let's say you're having to run away from somebody. You don't want that thing to pop out and whoever's chasing you or whatever, somebody else pick it up and, I mean, God forbid, shoot you with your own gun. So there is a safety aspect to this. And that's why I kind of just always stress, just take your time and be patient and mold and test and mold and test and mold again until you've got it right. You know, I can't remember how many. I mean, I guess I could show you guys the graveyard, huh? You want to see up in the graveyard up there? There's a pile of Kydex up in here. That's all the mistakes. That was when I first got going. I think I have my first functional one up here somewhere. Is it this guy? I don't know where he went. He's around here somewhere. When I finally made a holster that functioned, that worked, I went straight to the guy that has kind of mentored me through all this. And look, it works. It's not pretty, but it works. So, and that's when I guess I kind of started going into business, was when once I figured out that I could make one that would work, then I had to learn how to make it aesthetically pleasing. Make it something that you would, when you see it, you would want to buy it. That's really the hard part. Being able to make it work, because you can make it work all different kinds of ways. But being able to make it both work and look aesthetically pleasing, or tactical, as some like to say, are two different things. So I'm not saying I make the best looking holsters out there, but I think I make a pretty decent product given how far I've come from where I started. I mean, let's see. Let me just find a really ugly, nasty man. Okay, well, we'll just start with this guy. This thing is terrible. So everything like here and stuff looks good. This is wrong. I know you don't know why that's wrong, but this is for a 1911, and that's for the the breakdown lever. That I should have sanded that little guy off and put some blocking there, but the rivets are terrible. It looks terrible. This works. The retention in it, it's got adjustable. I have taken the screw out, but it works. The firearm goes in there and it holsters and it's tight and it would work, but it is ugly as all get out and way too big to be out. I mean, like I said, I was just learning when I was doing this stuff, and this thing is huge. It's monstrous, and it's ugly. But I keep these to remind myself of my mistakes. Then we fast forward to today, when I know you guys have already seen it, the graphics that we're doing, Sublimation. This is a line of tattoo art that I have found that I've just absolutely loved how it looks on a holster. It looks a little bit kind of like faded, kind of like an older, I guess, tattoo. I guess you would say, it looks like kind of like how a tattoo would look on your skin. That's what I liked about it. Yeah, it's really cool, and I'm glad. I've been wanting to learn how to do this for a while, and I have a pile of sheets of Kydex that I've wasted learning the time and temperature to get the actual graphics to infuse into the Kydex. So that was a learning process as well. But I'm all for taking on the challenge and learning new things. It's part of growing your business. Don't be afraid. I mean, take chances. Just go for it, man. If it's something you want to do, you want to try, just do it, man. I got a lot of, when I first got going, I caught a lot of flack from some competitors that, I mean, just like were they thought they tore me to shreds. Apparently I was supposed to be out of the game about 3 or 4 months ago, but I'm still here, getting better every holster I make, and still learning. And honestly, what's the saying? They say if you don't have haters, you're not doing it right. I get it. They're competitors. I don't think that I'm necessarily competing with some of the bigger guys. I do this part-time. I have a regular full-time job. I do this in the evenings in my garage and on the weekends. So competing financially, no, but I am still hanging around, still hanging with those guys. Some of these guys have been doing it for a long time. I haven't been doing it as long as some of these guys have, but I'm not going anywhere. So, well, it should be just about time. What's that timer say? Ooh, we're almost at an hour here. This video is going to take forever to upload to Facebook and YouTube. We're on YouTube. So we have a YouTube channel, Lone Star EDC on YouTube, and I'm also going to be on Rumble. Same thing on there, Rumble, Lone Star EDC. I have both because I have a feeling eventually YouTube will probably kick me off. As most of us already know, YouTube is not the most Second Amendment friendly people. I don't, for the life of me, can't figure out why, but that's just who they are. So, but we are on both. I have a couple of videos uploaded already to YouTube. The previous two that you've already seen, possibly. It would be awesome if you would go there, subscribe. I'm not going to be uploading a ton of content all the time. It's probably going to be once or twice a week. It's going to be little how-tos like this, little tutorials and things of that nature. But subscribe, help me out. I'm not asking for any kind of subscriber money or whatever. Just to help the channel. I'm trying to further get my business out there. Trying to further. I'm just trying to compete, man. So, well, let's see what we got going on. Let's go over to the press. Get our gloves because it will be warm. Looking pretty good. So there she is out of the press. Got our star, nice and crisp, huh? Nice tight sight channel, which we're gonna have a combat cut here, so this full flare will not be there. There's the other side. Our mounting template for our plate. This thing's gonna be pretty nice. Let's bring it down and we'll crack it out the mold and go from there, finish it off. All right, take a seat. Let's crack it out of this thing here. Beer's pretty tasty. All right. Crack it out. Get our mold out of there. Let's see. All right, nothing got left behind this time. Awesome. Okay. So on an IWB, like I had showed you yesterday, the front and back will have two different cuts. Sweat guard in the back, cut off in the front. So when you go to mark it out, this person is right-handed. The clip is, this is where the clip is going to go, clip and wing over here, and retention screws and all that stuff. So we're gonna start, I'm gonna mark off the back. Just at the end of the muzzle, to the sight there, that's where the sight is going to be, and we're gonna take and we're gonna cut it back just a bit. Give it a little combat cut. More aesthetics more than anything, really. It really has no bearing on the function. Bring this all the way down. And then, so on the bottom here, we're gonna go right down. So here's the very top. Here's kind of the edge over here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but kind of the edge over here. We're gonna come down just the slight edge of the trigger guard and come out nice and straight all the way down to the end. Okay, and this over here will also have a similar cut. Actually, we may end up going more round there. These Glocks have not such nice straight lines. Let's round that guy off like that. Okay, then we're gonna come up over here, come around the trigger guard, and we're gonna go, be sure that when you mark it off, this is your safety. You do not want the safety inside the holster. He's wearing this inside the waistband, and that holster can press up against that and dislodge the magazine. So you do not want that covered. Okay. I'm gonna make a little mark there, then I'm gonna come up here, and this kind of already has a guide, this angle here on this particular bolt. So we're gonna use that as a guide, not all the way to the edge, but pretty close to it. I'm gonna come down and match it up right there. We're gonna give them a full sweat guard. He didn't specify otherwise, so Colby, you're getting what you get. Okay. And there's no optics cut, so I'm sure you guys are, most of you would be familiar with an optic on a pistol. Optic cut would just come down, so the ejection port is somewhere in this nature. I would cut all this out in order to fit an optic. Because there's no optic on this pistol, we're gonna come right down the edge. It's kind of rounded, so get right on the edge and come down through here. Mark that off. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out, and then I'm gonna mark out the other side, and I'm gonna cut it with the Dremel. So let's go back over to the saw. Again, sorry for my video equipment, it's not the best. That's what it is. Sorry. This cheap little thing. Okay. Can we see there? Let's see. Let's see if I can get you guys a better angle. Okay, that's a little better. Well, let's go ahead and cut it out. Rough cut. Not gonna quite cut on the line, just past the line. That way we can sand to the line. Okay. That side. And let's bring it back over here, and we're going to mark out the front side. So we're going to take, what I like to do is I will get my clip that I'm going to use, and kind of that'll tell me right about where the top of the holster is going to be, and I'll go just right above it, about 1/4, 3/8 of an inch above it. is what I'll do. Okay, mark that guy, come on down. We'll come up and we're gonna connect on the other side. We're gonna come down like we were doing before. And mark it out. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and come all the way across. And what I'm gonna kind of do is round this corner out. Again, more aesthetically pleasing, because aesthetics are important as well as function. Make the line nice and dark so I can see it good. And that's gonna come down about like that. Now we get our Dremel. A trusty Dremel, another must-have if you're gonna do this. Recently went to this cordless one. My other one took a dump on me. I don't know why. But this one has been pretty good so far. I've only used it a little bit, but so far so good. And we're gonna take and put this guy in there, cut off disc. And then we're going to cut this guy out on this side. Wait a second, hold on. That does not, okay, that's fine. Again, not necessarily on the line, but close to it. Tight it. Okay. That's it for that. Oh, we didn't cut off our front piece here. Do that back on the saw. Put it on there real quick. Make our little comeback cut. Okay. Now we're gonna turn around. I'm gonna turn you guys around and we're gonna go to the bandsaw. I keep calling it the bandsaw. Belt sander, and we're gonna start sanding it down, okay? All right, 80 grit is what I start with on here. All right, now let's go into some of the, oh, we gotta sand out a little bit more here. Let my wrench go, there it is. We are done with that guy. Stick him in there.
Go back with my 80 grit drum here, sanding drum. And sand this guy down. Get it down to where I want it. Almost there, guys. Some of the flashing out of there. Over that edge just a little bit. Okay. Come down here to the end. A whole bunch of flashing in there. At the inside. Okay. The rough sand is done. Now we're going to go to 120 grit wheel. Possibly a little bit of buffing. Put this guy in. Let's see. Give it a nice buff. When you're doing this, you want your edges to be consistent. Like you're going to see little marks in your sanding. You want to try to make them look all consistent, like it's all flowing one direction, if that makes sense. I'm not going for shiny, I'm going for consistent and smooth. So I want it to be comfortable. I want the thing to dig into you and cut you and scratch you. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be a bunch of sharp edges digging into you. Otherwise, you're not going to want to wear the darn thing. Well, that looks pretty good. Let's put some hardware on it, shall we? Whew. Warm out here. Or maybe it's the beer. Huh. Let me clean some of these markings off here. That's what I was telling you guys yesterday. I use these fabric pens, fabric pencils, because it's easy to wipe back off once I'm, done using them, or done with it, ready to, go into finishing. I can wipe my marks off cleanly. All right, so let's mark our holes for the clip. Right there. Mark them out. Little dot there. Little dot there. Okay. Let's go ahead and drill those guys. Okay. Let's wipe out the inside. Sometimes it helps to kind of clean it as you go along. You definitely want to clean it before you send it to a customer. You don't want a bunch of dust and dirty. They put the gun in there, yank it out, with a bunch of Kydex dust comes out on it. Okay, let's go ahead and mount our clip. Let's do it from the other side. Stick that guy through. A little spacer, a little dust on it. Oops. Well, this is why I do it before I put the retention screws in there, so I can get my fingers in there to put the screws in. Okay, there's that guy. Put our screws in. Oops. When you're buying your hardware, your belt attachments, clips and whatnot, a lot of the stuff you can buy that comes with the mounting hardware with it. That's typically how I order it. It's easier for me, but you can buy this stuff separately. You can buy the screws, the spacers, all the stuff. You can buy all the mounting hardware separate if you so choose. I prefer to buy it with the hardware. I think it's simpler that way. All right, there is our clip. Now we got to peel the mold out of all this blocking. put it in there. I'm gonna check our fit as well, and we're gonna put in our retention hardware. Okay. Boom. Looks pretty good in there, huh? All right, let's do our retention. And again, I will mark these because I'm using a mod wing. I'm going to use the holes on the mod wing for reference. Where's my knife? Let's sharpen this guy up a little bit more. Or I can get it down in there. Actually, we can do it just like this. We can kind of hold it. Let's see. Sorry, guys. All right. Get it where we like it, where it's supposed to be. So where the clip and attachment, the wing, are going to both be in the same location, or same height, I should say. I'll put a little mark with my drill bit. Okay. I get a mark in there? Yep. All right, do the same thing with the other one. Oh, I get it to hold steady. Okay, got me a couple marks on there. I'll go ahead and drill it. Okay. Any kind of boogers out of there. Kind of flashing. Get that out of there. Clean up the holes a little bit. Don't want it to look raggedy. Okay. Looks pretty good. Now let's get some retention hardware. Let's get us a couple of spacers. A couple of these guys. Let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, finishing washers. A couple of these. Actually, I think I can use the shorter ones for this, and then use. Yeah, I can use these, I think. These with these. I think so. Let's see. Also, another important thing to note. When you're mounting a mod wing, I just learned this recently. These are the 1/4-inch eyelets that you would see like on an OWB, outside the waistband holster, like this one. It's those. These screws that I'm going to use to mount fit. They center inside of these, right? So they're beveled, right? What that does is, and I'll show you, I'll get it all put in here. What that does, oh, those are too long. Oh, do I need the long one? Sorry guys, hold on. I need these. I think I need these a little shorter. Sorry guys, I grabbed the wrong hardware. Give me just a sec here. Get a little more organized. This would be a little easier. Okay. So now, let's see. Let's put our bottom pieces in, put our retention spacers in there, our rubber retention spacers. Get our mod wing. We're going to put these eyelets fit down right inside here. They add strength, and I'm going to show you what also how that kind of works. So let's see here. Get my screwdriver. Okay. Another screw here. Okay, when you put those eyelets in there, it adds strength. So this thing's not going to move. It's not going to rock and roll. It's not going to get loose on you. Once you got it good and tightened down, that thing is not going to move. And you don't want it to move. You want it to stay in adjustment. So let's see. Nice little click. Boom. And there it is, guys. From start to finish. Let's bring it back up. All right. Thanks for hanging with me. If you made it all the way to the end, I appreciate it. That's pretty good. You know, it came out pretty nice. But there you have it, just a basic IWB with I guess the only thing extra would be the mod wing. But from start to finish, you know, like I said many times throughout the video and yesterday, and I will say again, man, just take your time. Take your time, and you'll if you practice patience and planning, the end result you'll get the results that you're looking for. You're not gonna get them right away, but the more time and patience and practice you do, the better you're gonna get. So I mean, I'm still learning. You know, I don't proclaim to be the best out there, but I'm getting there. I want to be. So, and because I want to be, I'm not gonna stop learning. You know. That's why I continually make holsters just for myself, to show you guys and to continually practice and perfect my craft, you know. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. And again, don't forget to check us out on YouTube at Lone Star EDC on YouTube and Lone Star EDC on Rumble. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to hit me up, Facebook Messenger. I'm on Facebook as well, Lone Star EDC. Lone Star EDC 83 at gmail.com. Lone Star EDC 83 at gmail.com if you want to shoot me an email. And check out the website, guys. And again, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.